again and welcome to Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of cage birds, with a special focus on the exhibition style Budgerigar. And indeed in this episode we're going to have a bit of a treat in that we're going out and have a look at the Swindon Budgerigar Society Young Bird or Young Stock competition, which is both a barhead competition and a current year bred young bird competition. So we will have a look at that, a few of the birds, and certainly have a look at the winning birds from that particular show. The other thing that we will do is we will have a very quick look at the last of the two young budgerigars that we've got in cage number 3. They're now virtually weaned, to be quite honest, so we'll get those out, pop them into a show cage, and we'll just have a very quick look at those. We will of course pop out to the outdoor shed and we'll have a look at the young Fifes and see how they're getting on. We'll talk a little bit about the changeover from the first round to the second round. So quite a full episode, I hope. So what we'll do now then is we will probably start outside in the Finch and Fife light and have a look at the Fifes from breeding to bench. So here we are outside in the Finch and Fife light looking at Fifes from breeding to bench. As you can probably just about see behind me, and we'll get some clips of them anyway, I've now moved both of the first round nests onto the bottom of the cage. In the top cage, so the original pair, the two youngsters are perching now, so they've been out of that nest for a long time. They jumped the nest probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, so we're relatively early. The middle cage, so the newer pair, that particular pair, I've literally today just moved that nest down. One of them's gone back to the nest, one of them has now jumped and I think is perching as well. So I've replaced the old nest with a new nest, and again with the old pair, the top cage, that hen has built up again and is calling, but strangely enough I think she's calling to a cockbird that's in the flight. The cockbird that's in there with her original partner from last year, I saw him this morning chasing her around. I've not seen him tread her, but hopefully they'll settle down, she'll settle down and just accept him as her partner. Not sure why, first time round it wasn't a problem. The second one, like I say, I've only just done that today, so the middle cage, we're just waiting now for the hen to start building there. So all going well here. It looks to me like in the top cage, like I've got a yellow and a variegated, a clear, get the terminology right eventually. I've got a clear and a variegated, and in the middle cage I've got a green and what looks to me like it's going to have to be called, I think it's a heavily variegated. It's got a tiny little bit of yellow on the top of its head. Let me know if that's not right. I think it's going to be called a variegated, or heavily variegated would be my guess, is the second chick in there. All we're waiting for now is for them to begin their second round, and hopefully we'll have more than just the 2 out of 4 eggs full in the second round. Touch wood. So all appears to be going really well in here. Still youngsters or still some of the birds in the main flight, the cockbirds in there are still singing their heads off. So like I say, good news out here, just waiting for the second round to start. Right, let's pop back in now and finish off in the Budgerigar shed. So here's the first one then, this young cobalt, I think it is. I'm reasonably sure it's a cobalt. Like I say, it's still fairly young. It's the youngest of the two that were in there. Currently, I think the head looks alright on it. It's got a reasonable head, although a bit narrow between the eyes when I've got it out. So we'll have to see how this develops. It's not standing particularly well, but like I say, it is still young, and realistically, or really, it's only just started to perch, hasn't been perching for very long. So we will have to see how this one develops. Yeah, nice little youngster. Eyes might be a little bit too far forward, looking at how much back skull there is on there. So it's, you know, I think we were saying in an earlier video, 25% away between the ear and the back of the head is what you're looking for the eye, and I think it's probably a little bit, the eyes are probably a little bit too far forward, although we will have to see. Spots, difficult to tell at this age, but it has got some spots there, so hopefully they will come down reasonably large, and still it hasn't finished growing its tail, so it's difficult to see there. Carries its wings reasonably as well, but at the moment, like I say, it looks like it's sitting across the perch a bit too much. Might just make a reasonable stock bird, and I'm reasonably sure it's a cock bird. And I think currently all the keepers that we've got in the keeper cage are hens, so we do need to try and find a couple of the cock birds if we can. Not sure quite what that was, something seems to have fallen down in one of the main flights, but apologises for that, or my apologies for that. And I can't see what it was anyway. Right, back to this bird. What we'll do is we'll pop him back in and we'll get his sibling out, which is a light green. So here's the light green, and I think you can see that this bird does look a wee bit better than the cobalt. Certainly when it stands upright, it's got a very nice look about him, and a bit more length about the bird. You can tell from the feet up to the top of the head has a bit more length about it, and I think actually it's got a slightly better mask on her as well. So overall I think this bird is going to be better than the blue, although it's not quite as comfortable in the show cage as the blue was, but that might be age. Like I say, the sky blue is a few, maybe only 2 or 3 days younger than this bird, but that seems to have made a fair bit of difference. Like I say, it's going to be a longer bird. It stands better than the cobalt. Spots wise, it's definitely got a longer mask, so there's definitely room for bigger spots on it. Whether that will happen, I don't know. Try and see if I can get the bird's attention. We'll need a fair bit of training in the cage, and another cock bird, and I think my current view is of the two, this one is most likely to remain in the shed. Again, tail still not fully down. So we need to wait and see what it looks like there, but it's definitely a much longer bird, or it might just be longer, appear longer because of the way it stands. Difficult to judge it against the matrix, just because of how young it is, and this is really the first time this bird's been in a show cage, so again we will need to just bear that in mind. But overall I'm reasonably pleased with these two birds, and particularly this young light green. Right, let's pop him back in the back into the breeding cage. Well, like I say, I'll just put this young light green back into its breeding cage. Whilst I'm doing that, why don't we take a look at the Swindon Budgerigar Society Barhead and Young Stock Show. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little look at the Swindon BS Barhead and Young Stock Show. Some lovely birds on display there, and some very worthy winners picked by the judge for the day, which was Adrian Duck. So big thank you to Adrian for judging, and you know, definitely picked some very worthy winners. Congratulations to all those who were successful at the show and came out on top. A special congratulations goes to Dan for taking Best in Show with that lovely yellow face. And of course, Dan is a regular viewer of this channel, he tells me so. So Dan, if you've reached this far in the episode, thank you very much. But don't forget, Dan, you do need to subscribe to the channel. Dan's one of our viewers who watches every week but hasn't yet subscribed. So Dan, now's your chance. Find that subscribe button and hit it. Anybody else who hasn't yet subscribed to the channel, then of course please do subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button, but most importantly, until the next one, do stay safe and enjoy your birds.